What's good, Humble Squad? It's your boy, HumbleZiggy. We back here with another reaction for y'all. And hold up, let me fix y'all real good because I ain't trying to let this camcorder drop on y'all. There we go. But as you see here, we got another video from my guy Luesta and such. And this is the comedian getting canceled for dissing Kendrick Lamar, aka Andrew Schulz. Now, hey, if y'all watched, basically if y'all saw the clip where he was saying about how he would, now he ain't gonna wanna F with Kendrick's people and such, the gang members and all that, he ain't wanna F with them. But himself has said that if anyhow him and Kendrick were in jail, he was talking about how he would essay Kendrick and such. The fact that he's saying about how make love or whatever, and the fact that he gonna say that he would wanna ask if it's, and he's gonna ask if it's consensual or not, that's crazy. I don't care. and hey, let's just say he got a lot of backlash for that, and so far people are saying about, and he was receiving like death threats and such. Look, I ain't never saying death threats is not funny. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But, and I saw a comment saying about, to quote Cat Williams, when it comes to grape, it's never funny, no matter who is it to. So I'm just saying, my guy, if you gonna make a grape joke like that, expect others to make another joke about your shit, cause that was going too far. So they gonna match the same energy, and now all of a sudden now he's saying, whoa, why y'all nah, nigga, if you gonna make jokes like that, expect other jokes, dark ass jokes of what people are gonna say. But let's see how Luesta gets it, so we better check it out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials up there, and without further ado, let's get it.
It may have come out only a couple of weeks ago, but Kendrick Lamar's new album GNX is still dominating the cultural conversation. From his stern words towards Lil Wayne after the Super Bowl controversy, to all the subliminal and coded messages.
And boy, Wayne, if y'all saw that tweet by Lil Wayne, where, you know what, I know this video is gonna be long, but all I'm gonna say is this nigga Wayne has the audacity to put in a tweet about congratulations Belichick and such, Bill Belichick, right? And then has the audacity in a tweet to saying about how people are just envy and they just don't know how to say congratulations. And I saw it on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm like, the fucking out. I even commented on Instagram, and I saw it on Worldstar's page. I commented saying, where was this same energy for Kendrick? And trust me, there was other comments there and such saying irony, like, Wayne, I know good and damn well you ain't talking, man. You a GOAT, but I ain't know you ain't talking.
To all the subliminal and coded messages towards Drake, there's been plenty for people to unpack. But what no one would have expected is that one of the most polarizing, hotly debated issues to come out from the album's rollout would be the reaction of a comedian to getting dissed by K-Dot. Because people are wondering if he took it a little too far, and now he might have to pay some steep consequences. It's your boy Luesta, and this is why Andrew Schulz is jeopardizing his career. So let's back up a little to how he got in Kendrick's crosshairs in the first place. Around a month ago, people likely wouldn't have expected that K-Dot and the 41-year-old comedian's paths would ever cross. After all, Dot isn't even usually on the place where Schultz's livelihood depends on, the internet. My social media, most of the time, is completely off, he told the New York Times. Because I know, like, I can easily smell my own shit. I know I'm not one of those dudes that be like, oh yeah, I know how good I am. But I also know the reason why I'm so good is because God blessed me with the talent to execute on the talent. And the moment that you start getting lost in your ego, that's when you start going down. But while Kendrick isn't out there on TikTok trawling for memes, it's clear that some things do get back to him. And by the looks of it, one of those things were a series of controversial comments made by Andrew Schulz on the Flagrant podcast. In an episode alongside British stars Duncan and Fuhad Duwadu, Schulz made what a lot of people interpreted as some pretty derogatory comments about black women and their nature. All the while, several people of color in the room just co-signed it by laughing along.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This is
you don't know about
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
they grow a beard
they step
because there's more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of them.
That's hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect, it might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets
That means what?
Translation.
Kendrick fans.
The comment sparked a backlash almost straight away, with online commenters feeling like it wasn't his place nor his right to tap into these stereotypes. As a black woman, the stuff Andrew was saying about the black girlfriend effect was racist. He made it completely about the angry black woman trope. Can we not rest? As the outrage picked up, Flagrant soon had a controversy on their hands, as did Shits and Gigs,
Yeah, but they did get a lot of
for refusing to step in. Eventually, they apologized for their time in the whole thing, acknowledging that they should have done more.
Yeah, there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women.
Yep.
And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke, frankly, like racist joke.
Yeah.
And we were laughing at it. And to give, there's first of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
Later, Schulz trolled them for apologizing and insisted he absolutely wouldn't be doing the same thing.
Anyway, any listeners here that are upset at us, we just want to let you know that you're going to stay upset. Okay? What we're not going to do is sit here with our tucked between our legs apologizing on the podcast for jokes.
He even went as far as to watch their statement on the episode and essentially ridiculed it.
There's no excuse.
There's no fucking excuse. Al. Can you pause? I'm sorry. No excuse for that. I just want to take in the beginning of it. There's no excuse for jokes. There is never an excuse for making jokes.
But can we try?
I'm not gonna ever make an excuse for being a comedian.
It's unclear exactly when it happened, but at some point, this whole situation must have come across Kendrick's radar, because when it came down to unveil his new album GNX, he had some words for Schulz, as well as the guys from Shits and Gigs on the intro track Whacked Out Murals. Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Everyone immediately began to speculate over who this could be about, and at some point, Schulz himself came to the conclusion that he was the man being referred to. And
Obviously.
with that,
Yeah, cause. But then again, people were also saying about how it could be like for Gary Owen and such. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he ain't the one that. I was like, me personally, cause hell, even he was taking joke at it, saying about how, well, that I guess that makes me a criminal. In a way, he handled it more perfectly and such. So, to me, he good. But the way how Andrew Schulz got about it went totally to the left, nigga. And I ain't talking about Beyonce.
decided to go on the offensive, bringing the beef to a whole new level with some comments that left the world shocked. Speaking on Flagrant, Schulz gathered his co-hosts and delved into his feelings on what went down. The result was a lengthy rant where Andrew essentially threatened K-Dot physically and said he would have his way with him if he wanted to.
Like,
Exactly,
first of all,
like
Kendrick's
this.
people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll and cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. And there's nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him. And the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's
It's a good thing, the way it's a good thing you censored it, cause nigga. Either way, it's basically like nigga. Why would you even, especially when the whole thing about how black people getting raped and all that. Why of all people? Why would you even? And the thing is, I'm never gonna silence a comedian for wanting to be funny and such. That's not me. But I'm just saying, you could have went about this a whole nother different way in a joke, right? Because if you was gonna joke about it, at least let it be funny, right? What makes you think a joke like that is ever gonna be funny? Especially to black people. Like, and for this nigga to be laughing, I'm sorry, but nigga, you. So I hope, you know what? And look, I may be a young 24-year-old boy, but nigga, why that? If look, I may like dark humor, right? Me personally, I do like some dark humor from time to time. But it has to be, a dark humor joke has to be executed perfectly. This was nowhere near it. I'm sorry. This was nowhere near a dark humor joke, because you gonna talk about how he's gonna decide that it's consensual or not? That's crazy. I'm sorry, but ain't no freaking way you gonna tell me otherwise.
That's the only thing he could do.
Sorry, I had to turn off my
If it's me and Kendrick, no, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that.
Immediately, the implication of what he was saying spawned a lot of backlash, as well as the consideration about what the fitting punishment for something like this should be when it's now part of a pattern of behavior. Humor can go too far. This one definitely does. He's gonna get his ass whooped for this. Kendrick has to violate him for this. Oh, this was the white comedian speaking on black women business? Soon, Schulz's Twitter fingers were working at full capacity, leading to a spirited exchange with Ice Cube's son and famed actor O'Shea Jackson Jr. After he cited his dad's diss track against NWA as a way to excuse his actions, O'Shea clapped back and explained why it's not a fair comparison. A metaphor about getting f***ed business-wise by your manager is not the same, homie. He ain't calling you a bitch. He ain't saying f*** you. Didn't even say your name. And your response was
that's the craziest thing too. The fact that even Kendrick didn't even say his name. He just straight up say, "Don't let no white woman speak on no. Don't let no white comedians insult black women." That's what he said. He didn't say who. He didn't say what. He just simply say, "Don't let a white comedian speak on a black woman." That's law. That's how he's saying it, right? So. Yeah, so in a way, this is a good response, because he didn't call you a B word, he didn't say F you, didn't even call out your name, nothing like that. Because for all you know, maybe you saying if it wasn't directed towards you, Andrew, it could have been to Gary Owen. And and the same way how Gary Owen responded, it could have been to any other white comedian out there. So, yeah, nigga, like, the fact that you answered like that is crazy.
Famed actor O'Shea Jackson Jr. After he cited his dad's diss track against NWA as a way to excuse his actions, O'Shea clapped back and explained why it's not a fair comparison. A metaphor about getting f***ed business-wise by your manager is not the same, homie. He ain't calling you a bitch. He ain't saying f*** you. Didn't even say your name. And your response was buck breaking. Shit was just crazy. In the past few days, the use of the term buck breaking in online discourse has skyrocketed, and it's all down to Schulz's ill-advised comment. Now, if you don't know what it means, let me get you up to speed. Buck breaking alludes to a practice where gay white slaveholders would ritualistically sexually abuse and degrade their male slaves in front of other male slaves to demonstrate their power and mastery over them. And for someone to think this is the sort of behavior you were referring to with your response—
Because I was hearing about that word. What's it mean again? Hold on. Because I was hearing about that term buck breaking. I did not. Hey. For me personally, right? You gotta remember, I'm a Caribbean boy, so most of these terms I've never even know about. Because I was always in Jamaica and such for the first half of my life, and mind you, I came here to the US, specifically in Florida, in 2014 when I was 13. So I didn't know about all these types of terms. So buck break. So hold on, what you said it was?
Let me get you up to speed. Buckbreaking alludes to a practice where gay white slaveholders would ritualistically sexually abuse and degrade their male slaves in front of other male slaves to demonstrate their power and mastery over them. And for someone
So this nigga really, so the way how, yeah, so now when I hear that now, and with the comment that he just made, Andrew Schulz just made about Kendrick, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
to think this is the sort of behavior you were referring to with your response, is no surprise that he's getting cooked. Not to mention, low-key threatened by Kendrick's crew. First up, there was the TDE president Punch, who, after asking for clarification if he really meant what he said, cryptically sounded off on him and let it be known that he could get touched too. The false sense of security that the internet provides is second to none. Next up, it was Kendrick's longtime homie, GNX collaborator, and real Pyru gang member Hida J3, who decided to chime in. In a series of posts, he suggested that Schulz might need some security the next time he slides through Cali. LA gonna be scared to let him come do another show after that response. Then, he basically inferred that Schulz was rolling with the cops. We know that he works with the police. Peep his mustache. Okay, Mr. Officer. For Schulz, this is an interesting crossroads in his career. Ever since he graduated from local comic to star, his brand has been built on pushing boundaries. And at times, he purposely tries to shock and offend.
Women are really upset that the trans women are like competing in women's sports with them. But I'll be honest, I can't wait for the day when trans women completely replace women and women's sports. That's my dream. I have a Martin Luther King dream that one day trans women completely replace women at women's sports. And then women will know what white people went through when we let black people play sports.
What?
That shit difficult, ain't it?
Plus, getting a little edgy when it comes to racial taboos is nothing new either.
Blackface is wrong. Racist cannot do it. Blackface is wrong. Can't do it. Good.
Blackface is wrong.
Well, I have to ask the blackfaces. I can't ask the rest of y'all.
Blackface is wrong. It's racist. You cannot do it. Okay? Then you see them Navy SEALs commercials. You're like, all right, well, kind of. Sometimes you could do it. Right? The whole Navy SEALs commercial is like, look how cool blackface is on a helicopter. Blackface in the water. They can swim. I don't know if they say that.
But this time, a lot of people felt he missed the mark, both with the joke itself and how he responded. Andrew's only funny statement was when he thought Kendrick used him for clout. The Pulitzer Prize winning, platinum record having artist needs a D-list comedian for clout. Laughable.
Yeah, like nigga, if you would think that Kendrick only used you for clout, nigga, on the level he's on, compared to you, I'm sorry. You're not even near a Kevin Hart or a Dave Chappelle type of comedian. So, and you may have your career and success and all that, right? But nigga, until when you are on the level of a Dave Chappelle or a Kevin Hart or a freaking Martin Lawrence or freaking Will Smith or Chris Rock or whatever, until when you're on those types of levels, shut the hell up and stay in your lane. That's all I'ma say. As a comedian, stay in your lane. So the fact that you would think Kendrick would ever want to use you for clout, I would be laughing too.
Naturally, there are two sides to everything, and while he got a lot of hate, others felt that Andrew's quick wit made this a dangerous road for Dot. Not a fan of Schulz, but K-Dot does not want smoke with him. He's ripe for mockery, and if anyone puts hands on him, that just proves his point. Some of them are doing too much. I find it hard to take anyone seriously who says Schulz is reigniting slavery with his comments about manhandling Kendrick. Some K-Dot fans are absolute clowns. In the case of other offenders of Schulz, DJ Academics unsurprisingly felt that Kendrick asked for it, because after he said such severe things about Drake, the lines of what's acceptable and what isn't are blurred.
Nigga, that is not the same. That is not... Nigga, comparing... Hold on, let me hear what this dumbass...
Kendrick said Drake's a certain... Yo, everything is fair in hip-hop, man. Ain't no rules to this shit, man. Say ain't no rules to this shit. Line always been a part of hip-hop. Ain't no rules. This is hip-hop, you know? Don't start no beef if you don't want to go there. A white comedian gets this and says, I'm gonna... It's like, whoa! whoa. What's going on? Draw the line, weirdo. Whoa. Hey,
Nigga.
How could he speak like this? What is it? Cause y'all just have one standard? The bigger the come on. And I agree with that too. It's
Nigga. You should not be and look, y'all could correct me wrong, but he should not be talking cause the way how Saucy Santana was gonna do your ass, you should not be talking. Do we need to remind you of what Saucy Santana was saying that he was gonna do to your ass, nigga? So, literally.
Is it no rules or is it rules? The same motherfuckers would be like, yo, so what if he lied and called Drake a certified But as soon as I make fun of his song about him getting fed, yo, chill. I don't even know if that shit true. Like that's just like playing.
Nigga, you know what's the difference? Nigga, you know what's the difference in Kendrick calling Drake a certified pedo and Andrew here's the difference. Even though we all know Drake isn't one, it's like you said, it's all hip hop and such. And especially when it's battle rap, anything goes. But here's a straight up difference. Andrew Schulz is not hip hop. He is not even in that lane. So, yeah, right? And plus, he literally said he would do it. And talking about how Kendrick would decide if it's consensual or not. There's a difference in lying and actually gonna do something. So, nigga, shut the heck up. And trust me, like I said, with the way how Saucy Santana was gonna do you should shut the F up.
Off of a song.
But it's fair to say that Ak is in the minority, and for the most part, the media can't quite understand how he thought he could take this route and not feel any wrath from the world and maybe even Dot himself. For starters, there's the fact that Schulz ultimately outed himself as the comedian discussing black women in a negative way in the first place.
That too.
Literally a gaggle of white comedians. I thought this could have fit. I thought it could have fit, right? Dot didn't name drop Schulz.
Yeah, he literally didn't.
Something that isn't even unique to Schulz. It's not. It's a commonality in right-wing comedy, or as I call it, bootlicking, down-punching, pseudo-humor. 1 second applause.
Then there's the way that he talked about Kendrick, which made things way worse than if he just said he could beat him up.
And they say hit dog holler, right? You throw a rock into a group of dogs, the hit dog hollers, right? The one that got hit holler. He said a white man shouldn't be making fun of black women. White comedians shouldn't be making fun of black women. And he jumps up and speaks out. Why? Because he knows he was a white comedian making fun of black women. And he responds to the accusation of racism and misogynoir by going even deeper. Because part of the argument of saying that you're going to buck break Kendrick Lamar and physically dominate him is that you're going to treat him like a woman, right? He made the counter about penetration right after that, and make even the language of making love is still to make it seem as if he's effeminizing Kendrick. He's saying he's little and I can dominate him. I can treat him the way men treat me.
And yeah, like you was talking about how he's a short guy and all that, nigga. First of all, nigga, it don't matter if a person is short or if they're tall. You can get hurt, right? Let's say that all. Second of all, nigga, what made you, the fact that you, and then when you have the nerve, then after when this whole backlash happened to you, you gonna talk about how, oh, that's my kid, man, that's my kid. Nah, nigga. And it's so crazy, he's the type of comedian where he's saying he's not gonna apologize, he don't wanna be soft and all that. But then when niggas were going at him for his joke, for going his type of route, right? When people were go, and I ain't saying it's right or anything, but nigga, don't you start getting soft. Don't you start like saying about how, whoa man, that's y'all doing too much. That's my kid. When nigga, you was talking about saying if he's gonna be consensual or not, If you gonna go in down that dark ass rabbit hole, stay on that dark ass rabbit hole. Don't be trying to want to come out when you're already in there, nigga. That's how I feel.
And that kind of
I'm not even trying to want to defend him or anything. I'm just saying, you gonna make your dark ass kind of crazy remark, stand by it. Don't next minute be like, whoa, y'all going too far. You're not saying that when you're saying you're gonna do Kendrick like that, buck break Kendrick like that. So stay in your, yeah.
So also smuggles
That's all
in
I'ma
a
say.
certain kind of anti-woman logic.
Besides that, there was also the personal L for a comedian who says everyone's too sensitive. Because by dedicating so much time and energy to the situation, it just means that Kendrick struck a nerve with someone whose profession means they're supposed to be thick-skinned.
Exactly.
Let's say you're right. Let's say all he's saying is he can beat up Kendrick Lamar. Okay, why would he want to talk about beating up Kendrick Lamar when Kendrick said, stop mocking black women? I'm standing up for why would that be something that will warrant a violent response or an allusion to violence? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
But the biggest problem is that the comments about Kendrick didn't exist in a vacuum. Instead, it was paired with another generalized statement about hip-hop that really invoked a lot of anger in people.
Rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women, so we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more. Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers, okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that up.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying?
This could have been avoided, because if all the attention about his comments didn't lead so many non-fans to watch, then he might have gotten away with this kind of thing. Instead, he's opened the gates to a whole lot of scrutiny.
I do understand somewhat of the outrage of people that are looking at this like, all right, Kendrick said something about you. Why are you making this a hip-hop thing? If you just want to talk to Kendrick Lamar, talk to Kendrick Lamar. Why are you now trying to devalue hip-hop? Even if there is some truth in what he's saying, I don't think...
Yeah, like, I'm not saying there's no truth. Like, yeah, rappers, we can't say about how white comedians or white comedians in general should not be talking about how no black woman, this and that. But then y'all gonna say the same thing about calling women bitches, hoes, and all that and such. So I ain't saying it's wrong in that. But nigga, if he's literally only talking to, like, saying if he was gonna call your name out, he's calling you out. Why you gonna make it be a whole thing about hip hop if it's only about Kendrick? You're only supposed to be talking to Kendrick. Why you gonna generalize everything in hip hop? Because not a lot of rappers gonna call women or black women for that matter bitches, hoes, and all that. So, and plus, most of the times we don't even be saying it. Other women be saying it to other women too. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Why are you making this a hip-hop thing? If you just want to talk to Kendrick Lamar, talk to Kendrick Lamar. Why are you now trying to devalue hip-hop? Even if there is some truth in what he's saying, I don't think we needed Schulz to tell us that hip-hop has had a misogynistic history.
What?
But why can't it be about Kendrick? Like, I laughed when he said, I'll you in a jail cell. I thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. I'll make love to you. I thought it was hilarious. Mm-hmm. But I see why people are upset. What does Schulz have to say about hip-hop when you're talking to Kendrick Lamar?
As a result of these remarks, the perspective on what his podcast actually entails has changed for a lot of people, including Ebro.
Because it just sounds like a bunch of white dudes sitting around trying to figure out how to have an angle on something that they're not involved in at all.
Well, if it makes you feel any better with Andrew Schulz, it's never a bunch of white guys. He's the white guy with a bunch of brown and black guys standing there to be his cover. So you have it slightly off, but it's the same guy. He's got the guys who sit with him on the couch to laugh, to give him the pass, to be able to say the things that he said.
As for his co-host, Peter Rosenberg.
Yeah, because think about it. He's got like an Indian guy there, and the only other white guy there is the guy with the laptop. But he's got an Indian guy there and a black guy there too. So it's not all white comedians he's have on this station. So in a way, he does have a way of wanting to shield himself from any type of backlash and such, all because he got a Indian guy there and a black guy there. Nigga, it don't matter.
Laugh to give him the pass to be able to say the things that he said.
As for his co-host, Peter Rosenberg,
especially when it's not even funny,
hip-hop have grown increasingly aggravated with Schulz in recent years, and this might be the final straw for some.
Well, I think that's Rosenberg's point, is that's Andrew Schultz's whole MO. So he can make these jokes. He has black people or people of color sitting there so he can make these jokes. Right. Which is why Kendrick Lamar is...
Got on them. And by the way, it's not just Kendrick Lamar. Like, Kendrick is the one who said that line, but the truth is, bubbling under the surface, there have been people for a long time being like, why is everyone okay with this dude and people of his ilk saying the things that he says? And then his response to it, this man has never cared for, crafted for, done anything for the culture. This is a guy who just makes jokes and makes money and was given a pass by Charlemagne. They used each other and sat next to each other, and now he says loose things, talking about things like sodomizing Kendrick Lamar. That was what your reply was in the moment to the most popular, in this moment, the most popular black artist in the world, in this moment, was talking about sodomizing him. That was the joke that you thought that was the play?
Alongside the outrage sparked by his specific comments about Kendrick, the biggest hurdle Andrew now faces is the idea that he has habitually stepped out of line. And now it's pushed things too far. Speaking on the JBP, Queen's Flip went off at him for daring to repeatedly slander black women and hip-hop culture.
And while, okay, the joke may be just a joke, you're a comedian, but what I do is I hate when people who are not a part of our culture end up coming into our culture and then their true feelings start to come out.
We don't know that. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Because he started to say about how black men or how rappers treat their women, right? That means you knew this and you felt this way. You knew this and you felt this way. You sitting next to Charlemagne and you
been saying that on the show.
Huh?
He's been saying this on the show.
Well, I don't watch him, so I don't know if he's been saying that.
Same sentiment for years.
So he's saying what? That black men or rappers beat their women? So
he's had the same take forever.
If you guys do it, I can do it. No, nigga, you can't do it.
And he wasn't done there either. To portray how ignorant Andrew had been, Flip explores how different things would likely be if the shoe was on the other foot. In that basically, Flip thinks there would be no discussion and it would be straight condemnation if someone came at the Jewish community of which Andrew belongs like this.
You can't do it because no disrespect that the Jewish people gonna allow us to talk or make jokes about anything pertaining to Jewish culture or what they went through. No, they're not.
Hey, that's a fact. If we as black people start making jokes about the Jewish community, I know good and damn well y'all gonna be coming at us. So what makes it any better if a white Jewish comedian talks about black women like that, black people like that? It don't make it any better. So he got a point right there. Cause if make us say a bad joke about the Jewish people, y'all gonna be on our necks. So, hey, if you don't want us to make a joke about y'all race and such, don't make a joke about ours, right? Keep it respectful and keep it pushing. Simple as that,
because belongs like this.
You can't do it because no disrespect that the Jewish people gonna allow us to talk or make jokes about anything pertaining to Jewish culture or what they went through. No, they're not. They're not. You're offending, you get canceled. So we're not gonna let this guy. Huh?
He's right.
We're not gonna let this guy sit down there and then say, okay, it's a joke. I'd rather him address Kendrick Lamar and make jokes based on that. But when you start addressing hip hop and what hip hop has did to the black woman and how we have not protected them.
All the while, Schulz has continued to act as though he is the victim in all this. And while some people are calling Dot fans hypocrites, the way that Schulz is suggesting certain things were too far in terms of how he's being treated hasn't exactly got anyone feeling sympathy for him.
Don't be surprised if he goes crazy. Listen, some of the Kendrick stans have been posting, like, telling me they're gonna take out my family on like pictures of my child, my daughter.
God. With his comments on both Kendrick and hip-hop's treatment of black women, he really has opened up a door that he'll struggle to seal shut for a long time. Because in all likelihood, he won't like Wack 100's claims about his mother either.
You seen the nigga Andrew Schulz talking about what he was gonna do to die?
Who the that nigga? I don't know
Andrew
that
Schulz, you don't know who that is?
That nigga.
Man, the white comedian nigga, man.
I don't. But
said if he had died in the cell, he said he could get him. He said I can take that if I had him in the cell. I could get that. I could take that.
Oh, he gay. Andrew Schulz is gay.
Look, this nigga right here. He on back on Pig Page saying it
too,
man.
Let me see him real quick. Oh, that's dude who mama, the homie them had. His mama was getting hit 3 ways.
No.
Yeah, because I remember she opened her phone up and was like, "You guys might know my son." And I'm like, he looked like a Gilligan Island nigga. Right?
Gilligan Island.
Okay, yeah, I know about his mama. His mama was getting hit 3 ways. Hell, and one of them was a midget.
One of them was a midget.
One of them was a midget. He was sucking on it.
Left angered by his words, many hip-hop fans are arguing that he shouldn't have a platform in the space at all, and that what he's saying about Kendrick borders on a strange obsession. He truly cannot shut the up about it. It's like when somebody has a crush and keeps bringing that person up, thinking they're being casual about it, but making it wildly obvious to everyone else. Now seen as a comedian with an ego issue by many, this has led to a lot of clips resurfacing where he's shown a far more malicious and sensitive side than what he's trying to portray now. Not to mention some recurring threads.
This is when you know, this is why Kendrick is such a freaking culture shifter and such, because when this nigga says a line in something, right, you see how quick, cause think about it, when he was saying in Not Like Us about I hear it like I'm young and all that, and it's so crazy that within the next days and such, within the day after or 2 days or 3 days after, you see different clips of freaking Drake, especially the most infamous one where he's on stage and he's 23 and he's dancing with a 17-year-old girl. And then the date with Bobby Brown and all that when she was 14. And he was like, probably in his late 20s or so. And then now with Kendrick saying about don't let no white comedian speak about black women, that's law and all that. And then it's aimed at Andrew Schulz and look what happens now. A whole bunch of videos comes out about his ass in the past and such. Hey, one thing's for sure. Whatever Kendrick says, there's gonna be such a culture shift in that bitch. Like, goddamn Kendrick. This is why Kendrick is always gonna be the culture shifter and such.
Insensitive side than what he's trying to portray now. Not to mention some recurring threads of misogyny, bullying, and attempts to make jokes about subjects that he should be above by this point in his career and at the age of 41. When it comes to his treatment of women, just look at how he treated his old friend Whitney Cummings after inviting her to his platform.
Being a stand-up as a woman, it's not a business. It's not a viable.
Can you tell us how hard it is? Like,
I'm not saying it's hard.
Tell us how hard it is to be a female comic. Like, that's what we love to listen to.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's hard to be
It's so tough on the road.
No, it's not what I said. What are you doing?
Trying to tell you to go back to the hotel.
No one knows.
It's so different than being a woman anywhere else in life. How is being a comic on the road any different than just going out to a bar? I always hear this from female comics, like, guys always trying to go back to your hotel. And it's like, look at the face again. You're listening again. You put on your listening face. I'd rather you look at me and just think about like a dog bone. Just think about a bone. Just think about a bone. Think about your happy face, and then look like this when I'm talking to you.
Throughout the duration of the interview, he kept coming for her relentlessly, but eventually she clapped back and caught him off guard. Turns out he didn't like when she threw shade about his struggle with having kids, which he was dealing with at the time.
Don't you dare do that. It's not a rock climber in the 1700s when we didn't have cables and shit.
What's going on?
I need to know what's going on. You come on here, you say you're a big old bull dyke out of the nowhere.
Hold on. I'm not a bull dyke.
Come on.
Did Emma take down your Die Hard poster? What's going on? What's going on at home?
You come in.
What's going on at home?
You come in and you tell me that you're lying about something.
What's going on? Are you shooting?
I need to get to the bottom of it.
Are you shooting blanks? Why are you such a grump?
Yes.
For a lot of people, this was a wake-up call about his true nature. It was genuinely frustrating seeing him interrupt Whitney at every second. She couldn't even finish a sentence. Schulz gives off hardcore middle school bully energy. But it wouldn't be the only one, as when he went on the Full Send podcast, it seemed like he was projecting his own insecurities onto Steiny.
Me taking time out of my day to do this and then feeling like I'm forcing you guys to do the podcast.
I thought you were just being a little annoying.
How?
I think you're annoying.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
Coming from you, nigga.
What makes you think that?
I don't know.
It's gonna be like a therapy session. Yeah.
No, just say how you honestly feel.
I feel good, bro. I think you're pretty funny.
Feel good. You don't feel good. You feel insecure right now. You think
coming from the nigga who was, you're saying about he's being annoying, but yet you was interrupting her every single time. And she just hit you with a, are you shooting blanks at home? Are you shooting blanks? Hey. Look, man. That's on, in a way, with the way how that is, that's the exact same thing where, if y'all saw that clip where DJ Academics, that motherfucker, where he was on a Fresh and Fit podcast, right? And there was another woman there, right? He was dogging her every single, he was insulting her every single time on that podcast, right? All because she has a deep voice. And mind you, she's from like a Hispanic, if I'm not mistaken. She's like, I could be wrong, but basically, where, you know, with most Hispanic females, they got like a deep voice and such because their first language is Spanish and such, right? So the second language, when it comes to learning about trying to do English and such, they're always going to have like a deep voice. And I could be wrong, but y'all let me know. So basically, his ass was always insulting her every single time, saying about how she sound like Pop Smoke and all that recipes to him. And like, nigga, he kept on getting disrespectful. And then she was nonchalant with it. But the one time when she fires off her insult, right? Everybody who was on that podcast, including other people who was insulting her, even there was like, the minute when she was saying about how bitches love fat niggas like you and such, and it was basically a joke about how this and that and such, right? And he got pissed off. He got triggered so much. He insisted on insulting her. Kept on more insulting her, and especially with her man that wasn't even there. And then get on everybody else. And he gonna talk about how don't let nobody insult you and don't let nobody this and that. Like, that nigga showed some bitch-made energy. If y'all remember, just go find that clip and go watch it. You gonna see how he turned into a bitch real quick. Crazy thing is, you know about this whole alpha male, this and that and the third. She was more alpha than him, because all she did was just try to match the energy of what he was doing. He couldn't take it, and he started acting like a bitch. So that's how it felt with this. That's how it felt with that clip and such. So hey, sometimes with certain females, I ain't gonna cap. Me as a male, look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm dominant or whatnot. But all I'm gonna say is, one thing's for sure and two things for certain. If a woman can be able to come up with a zing like that towards me, I ain't saying nothing. And especially when it's good, I ain't saying nothing.
I feel good, bro. I think you're pretty funny.
You don't feel good.
I ain't saying nothing
right now.
She might.
I think
every single time.
I think you're doing anything you can to get attention. And right now you're making this podcast about you, which is the most boring part of the conversation. We have much more interesting people to discuss whose lives are more fascinating.
No. I don't ever want to do a podcast again, straight up.
Even that doesn't sound real.
You might have just retired.
Then there's the fact that he's been vested by better comedians on his show. During one tense moment, he was checked by Shane Gillis for making fun of disabled people.
These guys are awesome.
Yeah.
They're having fun.
Yeah.
For you guys to sit here and be like,
wait a minute,
let's bring it up and mock them. That's up, dude. That's a dude. By using them as an insult.
We're using
So you're insulting them by saying I look like them? Or you're insulting me by saying I look like them?
This is you back in your victim thing.
No, I'm not being a victim. I'm saying the jokes you're doing it's not like
it's not PC?
That's not cool.
You know what's really great?
Triggering?
You're making fun of these guys.
This had fans applauding while the incident reflected very
And hey, shout out to Shane Gillis, cause I peeped some of it. I peeped from like Schoolface John when he's reacting to like certain comedy stuff, and trust me, with Shane Gillis, he's the type of comedian who can like really knows how to do a dark humor joke and can set it up perfectly. Andrew, I don't know.
You're making fun of these guys.
This had fans applauding while the incident reflected very poorly on Schulz himself. I love that part because these losers are almost 40 and still stuck in the college brosive phase.
Yeah, like
a man talking to boys. Literally anyone can make the same shit jokes as them. They bring nothing new to humor. They aren't comedians. Clearly, Andrew doesn't know how to handle someone like Shane, because during another appearance on Flagrant, Gillis managed to get his own yes men to mock him for his attempts to be profound.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you need to do drugs if you're in Alaska.
Yeah. I think if you're in Alaska,
oh my God,
you need drugs.
Go ahead, buddy,
if you're like a canner in Alaska, you probably need it.
I hope you're running a wide for that. That was hilarious.
Drugs are a necessary
That was
component.
hilarious.
Yo, keep philosophizing, bro. This is turned on me. I hate how this is turned on me.
You know what? I love that it got over me. I let this happen.
Let's not act like he's never wound up on the bad side of anyone in hip-hop either. Due to his proximity to Charlemagne the God and comments made on their Brilliant Idiots podcast, he's received tons of smoke from Joe Budden in the past. But what he certainly hasn't received is any respect from Joe.
You have to be great. That's what I was trying to say with Schulz. It doesn't matter.
It's not true at all. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be
You're
great.
diminishing him by trying to say he was Charlemagne's lackey.
He was.
If you don't
have to be great,
even if that was true.
He sold out Radio City, which means he should be great. Yet when you watch him on Brilliant Idiots, he still look like a lackey and sound like a lackey. Why? Because he's a lackey. All right.
I never watched the show, so I can't.
He's a lackey.
What I'm saying is this.
And this is respectfully, Schulz, but you know I think you a lackey.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You know I think you a lackey. Yo, see, but I'm not. I don't play nice nigga.
And on the subject of Charlemagne, he has come under fire too in the wake of Kendrick's comments and his remarks about black women. Because to some, they shifted the blame for how comfortable Andrew feels onto his shoulders. Charlemagne the God is 10,000% to blame for Andrew Schulz. This isn't anything new either. It has actually been part of the narrative dating back to Shits and Gigs comments that sparked the entire thing. I blame Charlemagne for making his man feel comfortable talking about black women in a derogatory manner. Can Charlemagne talk about Jewish women like this? Why do we allow this for our own people?
Because God forbid if we say anything about the Jewish people, oh, we gonna get slandered down, but it's okay for a Jewish comedian to make fun of black people. It's okay for a Jewish comedian to make fun of black people, but if we say anything bad about the Jewish community, or we look as anti-Semitic and all that, but when you got a Jewish comedian out there talking down upon black people like that, it's okay? So, cause if that's the case, why don't we all just make jokes about the Jewish people then, right? If in that remark, if he's okay to do it to black people, why can't we do it to him? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right, but if you're gonna make the remark about how he's Jewish and he's making fun of black people, and that's okay, right? So we should not. So any black comedian out there should start making fun of the Jewish community. Because if he's okay with doing it, then we're okay with doing it, right? That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nobody should do it, but with that rhetoric, it's all fair, right? And it's so crazy that he wants to get woo about his kids. Nah, nigga. If you gonna come with some crazy smoke like that, expect the same smoke coming back to you. Simple as that.
Can Charlemagne talk about Jewish women like this? Why do we allow this for our own people? For his part, Charlemagne shot his boy some bail and downplayed it as much as possible.
I agree that if you're a comedian, you have, I don't want to say license because that's not the right word, but you have the license to make jokes about any and everybody. Since when do we police comedians? And by the way, if you don't like the jokes, you have every right to say it. You can rap about it, you can protest about it, you can be offended, you can tweet about it, you can do all of that shit. If Andrew was a person who only was constantly making jokes about one group of people, it would be different.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, there are people who call themselves comedians. They oftentimes use it as a smokescreen to just say some really dumb, shitty jokes that are
irony, motherfucker. You doing it, you literally doing it, nigga.
Probably racist or hateful, and that sucks, and that's just bad comedy. But if you're being honest, like if we're all sitting here being honest, and anybody even online that knows anything about me is being honest, you don't believe that.
Yeah, equal opportunities.
Exactly. It's like you've seen me make fun of everybody, and not only do I make fun of everybody, I'm going to your house to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like when I made
what do they don't believe about you?
What's that?
What are you saying? Like they don't believe what?
Did I have sex with Kendrick if he wants that?
Shut the.
Elsewhere, he acknowledged that it was within his rights to say what he said, but that continuing to double down might be
and you double
hazardous
down
to
on
his
it,
health
nigga.
if Dot's goons get involved.
I don't have a problem with
and
none
passion.
And I'm gonna tell you why I don't have a problem with none of it. Because Kendrick can say what he wants, and he can't control how Schulz responds, and Schulz can't control how Kendrick responds if Kendrick responds again. That's just the way the world
He's not gonna respond again because he didn't mention your name.
Exactly, he knows better. What he should say if he wasn't talking about me, that'd be the safest
no,
thing
you're
for
not
him.
worth. You're not worth the mention.
What if we end up in a room
You're not
together?
worth the mention.
And I put
That's what he's
I
saying.
put his feet in there.
He's saying you're not worth the mention.
What if
That's
I put
what
his feet in there? What if I put his feet
You
in
want
there?
him to slap the shit out
How
of
is he
you.
gonna do that? Whose shoulders he gonna
Why
stand
not?
on?
They gonna fuck you up.
Stop playing.
No. I believe his team will fuck me up.
Like, stop.
I believe his people will fuck me up. I believe I am not a tough guy.
But what he hasn't done is check Schulz in some of the language he used about black women.
Yeah,
or
like,
him.
it's so
And
crazy.
as a result, this
Like, nigga, you checked about how you saying about how comedians, nigga, you did not check him on the comment where he was saying about Kendrick and the comment where he saying about black women. So, and you got a black woman right next to you, nigga. Like, nigga.
This has had a knock-on effect for Charlemagne's cultural reputation too. All the while, Schulz has just kept poking the bear online. Everybody got quiet all of a sudden. What happened? Y'all turned the K-bots off? Put them bots back on, guys. I was just getting warmed up. Really, this is unsurprising. After all, the #1 rule of comedy in the cancel culture era is to not apologize. And to someone like Schulz, not backing down is key to his survival. Because the freedom of speech argument is always going to be there. At times, it's even gotten him a pass from those who are usually on Kendrick's side.
If you're unwilling to deal with the repercussions of things you say, then you're a violation. But if you're willing to stand on everything you say, then shit.
He said on it.
Go off. That's why I respect Schulz. Like, Schulz is the same thing. Schulz is like Chappelle to me. They say shit, they willing to die on whatever hill they say it. I respect it.
Meanwhile, others feel that Andrew is playing with fire.
There's a huge difference in how Dave Chappelle does jokes and he does jokes. So, let's get out off the record. Huge difference.
In a different way because he might be underestimating K-Dot. I don't think people know that Kendrick trains and boxes. He would beat the dog shit out of Schulz.
Yeah,
now,
like,
this likely isn't the case, as in reality, Schulz has a boxing background too, even winning an amateur fight in his early 20s. So with a reach advantage like,
but nigga, here's the nigga, you talking about amateur boxing, nigga. Yeah, Kendrick may train and box, but nigga, you gotta remember he's from Compton. You think they give a damn about? Nigga, they find a way how to get your ass down one way or another.
A fight might not look too pretty for K-Dot. But while that has sparked interesting conversation, news about another background of Schulz has proven far more disturbing. After antagonizing the people that he labeled K-bots, some allegations about Schulz's misconduct in the past began to do the rounds. Among them was one woman's claim that he had cheated before getting engaged and taken advantage of a drunk woman all in one go. Remember when you cheated on her with me when I was 22 years old, used me to get in the marquee where I worked, brought a bunch of your adult male friends, and then made out with me while I could barely stand after I threw up everywhere? Yeah, me too. But this was nothing compared to the recently recirculating words of his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Phillips.
Dun dun dun! Hello. Hell to the low. Hold up. Wait a minute.
And then made out with me while I could barely stand after I threw up everywhere? Yeah, me too. But this was nothing compared to the recently recirculating words of his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Phillips. In a lengthy post from 2020, she detailed what she alleged to be systematic abuse from Schulz. For years, I was manipulated, controlled, and abused by him. The verbal abuse was constant. I was isolated from my friends. If I wore makeup that he thought was too much, he'd wipe it off my face in public. In her lengthy statement, Sarah also discussed an alleged domestic dispute between them in Aruba, where she said his anger got so out of control, she locked herself in the hotel bathroom. In the post, Andrew's ex also stated the abuse turned emotional and later affected her physical health. In addition to allegedly policing her outfit choices, she recalled discovering he had been using her toothbrush to wipe his shoes, causing her to be sick for weeks. Obviously, these are just allegations, but
allegations or not, nigga, what? This just makes it a whole... Allegations or not, nigga. These are making it a lot more easier to believe.
It is interesting that he never publicly addresses this, yet will take every opportunity to further his beef with Kendrick on the grounds that it's making him more newsworthy than ever before. By the looks of it, Andrew is reveling in being a trending topic. He even claimed they are paying people to protest my show in Hawaii, and not 30% of their Spotify streams, full price. But with every fresh jab at Dot, he amplifies both the love and hate. He just needs to ensure that the scales don't tip. After all, comedians who are lighting bolts don't even believe that the area he's straight into with his words about Kendrick can ever be cool.
And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what.
I'm reacting. Yeah, I was about to say, like I said earlier, with the way how Cat Williams said, yeah, with with grape, it's never funny, no matter who it happens to.
And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.
Whatever you think of Schulz and what he said, what is obvious is that he hasn't learned from Drake whatsoever. Rather than keeping it a friendly fade, he made it personal. So if Kendrick does clap back, it'll be nuclear. Still, people feel this could all go away if he just holds his hands up to it and says he went too far.
I've listened to Brilliant Idiots for 10, 12 years, and I've listened to Flagrant for a long time. I'm a Schulz fan, I'm a Charlamagne fan. But I think in this case, it just missed the mark, and a lot of people don't know that history. They don't have the history of like knowing him or listening for so long. If you're seeing that initial clip out of context, I think it's okay to take accountability for a joke and just be like, I missed the mark. I missed the mark on the joke.
He had a lot of different
I wasn't trying to do it. Yeah.
But for a comedian like Schulz, that just isn't an option. Instead, he'll just keep pushing it as far as he can. Even if the consequences, whether they are alienating a section of the audience, enduring Kendrick's wrath, or even ruining professional relationships, keep mounting up. And if he's lucky, he'll escape with his career intact. It's your boy Luesta, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Shout out to Luesta, man. But hey, man. Me personally, this is how I say. At the end of the day, my guy, you could have gone about it a whole different way, but you wanted it to make it too much personal and such. Talking about want to violate someone like that, yeah. Like Cat Williams say, it's never funny no matter who's it in, no matter who's it to, man or woman. That shit is never funny. Cause I'll be damned if I ever try to. Cause I'll make a dark humor joke. I would want to make a dark humor joke, but I'll be damned if I make it towards ones that are especially of great victims. That's one thing I'm not pushing. I'll make, even with Jewish ones too, I'll not push the line. I'm not. So, yeah. But regardless, shout out to Luesta for covering up on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Andrew is deserving the backlash that he got? Or do y'all think that he's in his right to do it such? Let me know in the comments below. But it's been your boy HumbleZiggy signing out. Stay positive, keep the vibes up. I'm out.